Hi there and welcome. This is my 2001 Dodge 3500 with a Cummins and an RE47 transmission. It has over 270,000 miles. Last winter, I lost the transmission. I replaced it with a remanufactured from ETE Remanufacturing. I installed a gauge to better monitor the temperature, and it also kicks out of overdrive at 200 and has a warning light at 220. Since it is nearly impossible to properly clean coolers of contaminants and debris when a transmission self-destructs. To serve the warranty, ETE requires that you replace the air-to-oil cooler, and they send one with the transmission that they have determined to be adequate. I deleted the stock coolant to oil heat exchanger that is on the rear passenger side of the engine for several reasons. For a potential warranty claim, I was not sure how I would prove it was fully cleaned without replacing it at significant additional cost. Transmission oil temperatures should not get high enough to need to be cooled by coolant already as high as you want the oil to be, and based on my experience, warm-up is done adequately by operation even in these very cold temperatures. I get my equipment to operating temperature by starting from a building that is kept at 50 degrees, then operate them gently until all components have had a chance to warm up together, which saves fuel and wear over idling. Proximity to the engine and exhaust in a confined space helps to warm the transmission, and using synthetic oil also helps with temperature issues. Lastly, there is a risk of a leak in that type of component, allowing coolant and oil to contaminate each other. For the most part, I believe the overheating is due to the lack of airflow through the air-to-oil cooler. Largely due to working at slower speeds, the plow mounting structure restricting it, and the occasional buildup of snow on the grill. As a remedy, I decided to increase the air-to-oil cooler capacity, and to do that, I added this improved stock replacement cooler from Mishimoto and installed it in series with the Hayden from ETE that I had previously installed and was evidently not cooling it enough. Being a stock replacement, it bolted in on the driver's side of the radiator as the original, and this also located it where the plow mount blocks less of the airflow as opposed to the Hayden mounted more in the center. The installation process was very simple, so I did not film it. I had some difficulty with getting my half-inch hose on the inlet and outlet tubing of the Mishimoto, partly from access issues, and I think there was a slight difference in metric inches. I did not have the tubing or fittings to create the 90-degree turn I needed to route the hoses better without kinking them, so I routed the lines in a more sweeping fashion between the outlet of the Hayden and the input of the Mishimoto. I may change this later if this works. I also purchased a 1x2 foot piece of half-inch exhaust wrap from Heat Shield product. I cut and fit this with the minimum 2-inch gap per the instructions on the exhaust that runs along the passenger side of the transmission and installed it with the stainless steel zip ties. I did this to prevent that heat from transferring, hoping that would help also. I went for a test drive, and although I probably did not work it quite as hard as a typical plow event, I was able to get the transmission to 170 where it seemed to plateau. I think this will solve the problem, and I will let you know. Thanks for watching.